Peace, everybody. We're about to get going in a minute. What's up, Damon? What's happening, Prince Nakeem? All right, let's get it in. Okay. Got to get going because I don't even know if I'm going to have time to finish. But, peace to everybody. I'm sure people will chime in here as they get a chance. If not, catch it on the replay. Okay, when Barack Obama was president, Phil Valentine was really going in on, some conspiracy stuff about how Malcolm X was really his daddy, and and all the people that were backing him and put him in office and so forth, and basically how we were kind of duped as far as the emotional rush and everything. And what's interesting is that Bobby Hemmett came along and presented another aspect of things, where he talked about how, of course, we know that we don't select the president, and that the president never really does anything for the people who catch the most wreck over here. But he was saying, look at the spiritual significance of it. And what's interesting about those two is that they were both right. Sometimes it seems like somebody has to be wrong and the other person's got to be right. But what I've learned from them and other great teachers, just studying my own studies, is that there's not necessarily always a right and a wrong, and of course that's the one of the purposes of the Kabbalion is to show that overcoming duality is seeing both sides, which ain't always easy to do. It's easier said than done. But taking a lesson from that exchange between those two great teachers, I want to talk about because I don't live under a rock, okay? So everybody done seen and heard about all the stuff about Oprah Winfrey and targeting black men as far as talking about their past indiscretions and turning a silent ear or being silent on European men, okay? And then we all have heard about the interview with Gayle King and Lisa Leslie. I'm gonna say this. First of all, everybody is getting paid now to fuel distraction, okay? Everybody. All sides, they're all just being paid just to keep everybody distracted, because there are other things going on. But if we're going to pay attention to the distraction, we need to pay attention as metaphysicians and not as just, regular folk, okay? So, with that said, everybody who's riled up about how Oprah sells out black men and sells out black folk, and what's up Christian, and how Gayle sells out black folk and sell out black men, you're completely right. But here's the question: don't we already know that? This is what you got to stop and ask. Did it take this to make it clear that these women have an agenda? And did it take this? Does it take anything that goes on to know that people are paid to conduct themselves in a manner that is counterproductive to the so-called black man and black woman, but especially the black men. Okay, because and I say that for a reason, because that's what leads us into our discussion. Is that Bobby Hemmett was his calling card, especially let's say his mid-career. Let's say from like the late 90s to the mid 2000s he was really, really heavy on eschatology. Eschatology is end time events, okay? Something that's really not really talked about much anymore, you know, end time events. And all of the things that have been happening, you know, made me take my own approach to looking at this thing from an eschatological standpoint. Okay? And when you do that, it provides an interesting perspective. So first of all, I love the whole thing with etymology. So I just looked at, not looking at the word man, because see, man is misconstrued as representing a gender. Man is not a gender. Man is a state, or man is a description of several states. One, man refers to the mind, because man and men are the same root. Men as in mental, okay? So the mind then has a feminine state, and it has a masculine state. And those would be what we call male and female. Oftentimes we relegate those terms to mean to not really mean anything. You know, oh, it's just gender. No, but they're very important. Male and female. That's what the secrets are. Okay? So looking at the etymology of specifically of male. Male comes back to the root mask, which is where we get the term mask and where we get masculine. Okay? It also derives from the Arabic word mascara. Like when we say mascara, that's an Arabic word. Okay? So then you just use your common sense. The male, his reproductive organs stick out. Female, her reproductive organs are enclosed, they're hidden. Okay? So then we can see why the male coincides with mascara, as in the face, as in the personality. Your personality, all of us wear mascara, okay? And it's called our personality. Our personality, who we assume to be, who the world assumes us to be. Your personality is masculine. What is really hidden inside of you is feminine. Makes sense, right? Eschatology coincides with the word revelation. End time events means it's not the end as in this is it. It's the end of the hiding. It's the end of the occulting. It is where that which is occulted is now revealed. It comes up on the surface. So the Sufis say that the tiger has to eat the camel. And what that means is that it's a speaking to revelation, to reveal the essence of what they call the fihi ma fihi. Okay? In it, what is in it? What is in it is the feminine aspect. So then we put that down as our base. And then I start thinking about the name Oprah. And there's a character in the Bible named Oprah. It's an anagrammatic scrambling of the same letters that make Oprah. Instead of O-P-R-A-H, it's O-R-P-A-H, Orpah. Now, Orpah is found in the Old Testament. Orpah is the daughter-in-law of Naomi. Now, Naomi means in one instance means beauty, okay? So now we're gonna start rolling in some Kabbalah because these are all Kabbalistic stories. So then if you know anything about Kabbalah, then you find, well, what's beauty on the tree of life is Tifereth, the sixth spear. Okay, so Naomi is a widow. Her husband Elimelech, Eli, God, Melech, king, God king, has died, okay? And he is basically in control of the farming or the husbandry of their community, so to speak. She has two sons left. Those two sons, I can't remember. One is named Chilion and one is like Malika or something. I can't remember their names. Either way, they take on two wives who are Moabite women. Moabite women, okay? And the two women happen to be Ruth and Oprah. Well, the two sons die. So now all that's left, hey baby, oh, you look pretty. Oh, I like your dress. You look gorgeous. Is Oprah and Ruth, okay? Now, Naomi is distraught. She's lost her husband, she's lost her two sons, and she's facing the reality that her bloodline is going to discontinue. All right? So at a certain point, Naomi tells Ruth and Orpah that they need to return to their people, their Moabite people, and to return to their gods. And I know I'm really skipping around the story, but you know, this is the Reader's Digest version. This is a key thing in the story. Orpah, they both resist at first and say, no, we're not going to leave you, this and that. But she says, no, go. Well, Orpah says, cool. She gives her a kiss, she turns her back, and she goes back to her people. Now, what's interesting is that the name Orpah means stiff-necked and one who turns back. Now, then you got to see these people in the book is not people; they are states. Okay, so then you got to think about another story where you heard a similar state where a woman turned back, and it was Lot's wife. Lot's wife turned back when they were leaving Sodom and Gomorrah, and she turned into a pillar of salt. And we were all raised up thinking that, oh, she was terrible. She looked back and she got, don't look back. You know, preachers preached on that. You know, don't look back. You know, but she was the heroine of the story because salt is what? It's a conductor of electricity. It's a conductor of energy. You need salt for your heart to keep firing. Okay? That's why it's one of the electrolytes. Okay. Or sodium, I should say, which is what salt's made from. Okay, so now you take that understanding and now apply that to Orpah. Okay? Ruth stays with Naomi and they head back to, I think they're from Bethlehem. Okay? House of bread. Now, after they've gone through all this turmoil, when they go back to Bethlehem, amazingly, the story jumps and it's time to harvest. So you got to juxtapose these two things. These women are barren. Okay? Things have been severed and cut away from them. Okay? Even one of their sisters has gone back to her people. Okay? And they return home, but still it's time to harvest. But Naomi is still in her grief, and she says, no, don't call me Naomi. Call me Mara. Because I am bitter and barren. Okay? Now this is where you got to know your Kabbalah, at least a little bit. Because this is where it takes another twist. These three women, Orpah, Ruth, now listen to Ruth. Ruth is root. Ruth is the root. That's her name's a big giveaway. Ruth. Okay. Now, Naomi, Ruth would go on to meet a man named Boaz. Now, what is that name? Why is that name familiar? Boaz. Boaz is what? What's Boaz? Anybody know? What's Boaz? Boaz is the left pillar, or on the tree of life. It is the left pillar of Solomon's temple. It is what's called the pillar of severity. Okay? And along the pillar of severity, there are 3 spheres. One is Banah, below it is Kavora, and below it is Hod. All right? These 3 women, the story is telling you the left pillar of the tree of life. Naomi is Banah, because Banah also takes on the name as Aima and Amma. But Aima and Amma, they also produce water, which is Mata, maritime, Mata, water. So that's how you know she's at the top. She's Banah. Orpah would be Gavora, because she did what? She severed and she broke away and she turned back and went to her people, because Gavora means severity. Severity, the root of severity is sever, cut away. Oprah, cut away. Okay, Ruth, it would be the root or the bottom of the pillar. She's Hod. All right, we're going to juxtapose this. In the New Testament of the Bible, the character Mary is the virgin, right? Well, Mary would be the opposite of Naomi. She would be Hesed, okay? And Mary, at the burial of the Christ, she's with 2 other women. See, you see these, you got to juxtapose these 2 stories. These 6 women all go together. It's Mary, and then it's Mary of Cleophas, and then it's Mary Magdalene. Okay. The Virgin Mary is at the top, so she would be, did I say Hesed? She'd be Hokmah. She would be Hokmah across from Naomi, who is Benah. Mary of Cleophas would be across from Oprah or Orpah, who she's sitting at Gavora, and Mary of Cleophas would be sitting at Gadula. See, and another word for Gadula is Hesed. Hesed is what? The chest. The first letter is C-H-E-S, chest. Chest of Osiris. The chest of treasures that you bring back into the world when you incarnate. Cleophas, Cleo, grab. See, the clues are always you look at the names. They tell you what the states are. And then at the bottom would be Mary Magdalene. How do we know? Because what did Mary Magdalene do? She anointed Christ's feet with oil. She's at the foot. We're talking eschatology here. Because ultimately, what's supposed to be revealed? Christ is supposed to be revealed. End time events. I'm rushing through this. This should be treated with a lot more care. But what I'm trying to say, ultimately in a nutshell, is that everybody has a role to play. And even as horrible on a physical plane of what we see, it's Ray Charles can see how bad this is. It's blatant. Then Oprah's going on a tour around the country, this and that, and and it's basically a man hate tour, especially black man hate tour. Okay, it is obvious, but then to be a metaphysician, you have to be able to step back and maybe not be the first one to talk about stuff, but step back and look at things like, what's the other side? That's what I learned from Bobby Hemming. What's the other side to this? What's the other side? Something has to be severed just as much as something as there has to be mercy. The balance between the severity of the one side and the mercy of the other is that middle pillar. As in the salt, the conduit. The salt will be produced to complete the alchemical phase of the mercury and the sulfur combining. You need salt to be the conduit. It moves energy. It moves energy. So you know what I did the other day? I turned on the TV. I saw them on NBC talking about Oprah doing it. I just turned the TV off. That's how simple. That's how simple. Because you have to do things to protect yourself on the physical plane, because I'm still a black man. I can't say that it still does not have some effect on me. Just you know what I'm saying? So no matter how much you think you know, you're still human. So that's my human response. I'm just going to turn that off. But as I get time to step back into myself, you know, in my God mind, then I can start finding what's the significance of this on a greater level. And see, that's why distraction is at an all-time high right now, to prevent you from being able to think on a higher level. Everybody's getting on the camera and talking about other people's business from some remote location somewhere. People that really don't have no bearing on your life. I don't care what Dwayne Wade do with his son, because you know what? Like my dad used to tell me, I didn't have the pleasure of creating that child. I don't care. Snoop Dogg, Gayle King, the list goes on and on. The Breakfast Club, all of Vladdy, they're all paid to do one thing. As soon as one story gets out of the meal, another one got to come. Kobe Bryant dies. Next thing you know, we got to have Gayle King comes in with the interview. No sooner than that goes down, Dwayne Wade comes out and says, it's okay that my son wants to be Fruit Fly Jones. No sooner than that goes away, you got some other people coming in to talk about it. Then you got Snoop Dogg comes out, his son is on some picture with flowers on it. They are paid. That is what it means to take the oath. They are paid to prostitute themselves, their children, and everything to make sure that humanity stays in automaton sleep. Because the ultimate thing is supposed to be waking up to your own divinity. How can you wake up to your own divinity when it's like, oh, look at this, look at that, oh, look at this, oh, look at that. That's the goal. That's the real weapon. That's the number one weapon. And I know I'm nowhere near the first person to say this. This is what all of our great teachers have been telling us. I'm just echoing it. I don't know nothing, but I got common sense. I did it. There are all these planets keep lining up in the stellium, and then the planets coming back together in Capricorn again. You know, this is supposed to be time for each person to regenerate his or herself. But it's hard to do when you got so many toxins in your system. You have to try to find some kind of way. I ain't perfect. I'm addicted to YouTube too. I be on there because it's like, if you don't have time to pick up a book, which I would rather be, or doing some type of spiritual practice, it's easy just to go and click on the video and listen to it while you're doing whatever you're doing. We all are somewhat victimized by a constant flux of minutia. Always something new, you know. I can see my attention span getting shorter. I have to be conscious of it and fight the urge to have a short attention span. It's happening right before our eyes. But as long as you remain some type of awareness, you can try to fight back. There are devices that will come online That's what the great teacher said. There were devices that will come online. I really wish I could have. I'm gonna when I get the chance, I'm gonna get my camera out, and I'm gonna do a real conversation about this, or just about the Kabbalistic sniff, because it just helps to be able to see it drawn on the board. When you see these spears and you write out the different aspects of each spear and see the interplay. The interplay. It's not about learning just information. It is about seeing Kabbalah transposed onto you and you living out these different states. And it's a mother. It's a mother. Just knowing don't make it no easier. Not by a long shot. Not from my vantage point. But I would rather know, and to be able to have some peace of mind of, now I can steer myself. Because those different spots are states. We're going to talk about that in one of our conversations. Different states of where those numbers in Hebrew, those Hebrew names for each number have a significance. You know, this is the thing. This is what I need. I'm just gonna throw it out here. I'm not gonna worry. I need a new whiteboard. Anybody enjoy some old school teaching? I need a new whiteboard. I need a new standing whiteboard off of Amazon. About $70-$80. Everybody else begging. I'm begging now. I don't care. But I'm telling you what I want, what I need. And this is because I'm just, when I was in college, you know, I can't get down with the PowerPoints, and I'm old school. I like to write stuff, and yeah, baby. Okay, you gotta go potty? Okay, take it off. I'm coming. All right, duty calls. I need a new whiteboard so I can do lectures the way I want to. If you miss some old school teaching, then and you want to help me out, info@mastersofthecosmos.com. When you're in Rome, do what the Romans do. All right, stay down till you get up. When you get up, stay down. Peace.